morning, you stinky. Okay, get down.
I'm literally so nervous to film this video. I keep trying to tell myself, look in the camera, Brooke, because there's like a little side screen to the side of the camera. So I am trying to be like, focus. Hello, and welcome to my channel. If you don't know who I am, my name is Brooke. I feel like a lot of you who will be watching this video know me already. So welcome to my channel. I have been wanting to make this YouTube channel for a while. If you don't know me or my life, I am currently 17 weeks pregnant with a little girl. Her name is Adeline. At least that's what it is right now. That may change, but I don't think it's going to. My whole life I've wanted to be a mother, and so I'm really excited to document just this journey of my pregnancy, and you know, this is my first child, so it's gonna be fun. But I wanted to talk to you guys first about my conception journey and kind of what me and Paul went through. Paul's my fiance. What we went through as far as getting pregnant and, you know, what I did to prepare to get pregnant and things of that nature. So let's start it back. Let's see, it is January as of right now, 2022. Me and my fiance started trying in September of 2021. And some things I did to prepare was I had actually taken prenatal vitamins for like a year before this, and I hadn't been on birth control in about a year and a half, maybe even 2 years, because I also struggle with depression and anxiety, and it like just made my depression horrible. So I literally had to come off of it for like my own mental sanity. So when I did come off of my birth control a couple years ago, me and my fiance had, you know, made we had a discussion and made an agreement of, you know, if I were to get pregnant, that would be something that we're ready for. We're both just people who want children and want to be a family and, you know, be parents. So fast forward a year and a half, 2 years, something around that time, we talked about it and we decided that we are ready for our first child. I will be 22 this year and Paul will be 23 this year. You know, we both work good jobs, you know, financially we're ready, and so we were just ready. So we started talking about it and we finally agreed, you know, let's do this. Let's just have fun with it, which I guess have fun with it is a funny way to say that, but you know, we did. And we kind of just took our time, and you know, I started to prepare my body. I was already taking prenatals for like a year before that. I mainly took that for like skin and hair and nail, you know, benefits from that. That's why I was taking the prenatals. And I knew eventually I would want to have children. Like I've kind of always wanted to have children a little younger. So I knew I would be wanting to have children anyways. So I went out and I bought ovulation strips. And if you don't know what an ovulation strip is, it's basically it's like a pregnancy test almost. You like pee on it, same concept, and it'll literally give you like, some of them do like a smiley face or something, but this one that I was using, they just showed you like the 2 lines and like if you were ovulating at the time. So if like you weren't ovulating, there wouldn't be another line, it would just be 1 line, kind of like a pregnancy test if it was negative. And then like the darker the line got, you know, the closer you were to ovulating, and then when the line was as dark as the reference line, that meant you were ovulating. So that was like your ovulation day. So I had like never tracked my period or anything like that, or ovulation at all in the past before then. So that's why I ended up getting the ovulation test strips, which I highly recommend. And also, little disclaimer, everything I say in this video is from personal experience. Everything that I experienced, everything that I did. You know, I'm sure there's women out there who did things completely different, or who didn't experience what I experienced, and you know, and so on. So I was using the ovulation test strips and tested regularly with that. Like I think I took like once a day, and then finally it showed that I was ovulating, and me and my fiance had tried like a few days prior to that. So then we tried again like the day after I found out I was ovulating. So yeah, so that's basically the story of it pretty much. So to get into my 2-week wait, which is basically the time from when you conceived to the time when you basically can test positive or when you can have your period. So my 2-week wait, oh my goodness, I was so nervous. I was constantly like peeing on a pregnancy stick, y'all. It was kind of ridiculous. Like I wasn't even like nowhere near like testing positive, like obviously, but I was still like taking a pregnancy test like every day. It was like, it was ridiculous. Okay, so one of the very first symptoms, oh my gosh, if I am ever pregnant again and I have this symptom, it'll almost be like a telltale sign for myself that I am pregnant, because this was the biggest symptom for me, as I'm sure it is for a lot of women. It was tender breast. Yes, tender breast. Oh my gosh, my boobs were so sore. I couldn't even like just the thought of like just touching them were like miserable. Like I would take my bra off at the end of the day, and like just gravity would be like painful. Okay, it was just awful. A clear sign was the sore breast, and that was like not even like sore breast from when you're like on your period. Like it was like very distinctive for me anyways. So that was like the very first symptom. Like I remember just being like, you know, I couldn't even like roll over and like lay on my side or like my stomach, because it was just like so painful. It was just ridiculous, really. It was just so painful. And then, and let me tell y'all before I get fully into this, an app I used was Flow, the Flow app, and I really enjoyed this app. You have to pay a subscription like every month. I think it's like $7.99. But if you're trying to get pregnant and you want to track your period and your ovulation, it's a good app to use. I used it only to do, you know, to track my period and ovulation and things like that, and to document my symptoms, because there's like a little notes area, which is really cool. And you basically, like if you start your period, you can put in there, I started it this day. You can put when you end it, and then Flow will kind of self-predict when you're supposed to ovulate. And then, or if you're doing the ovulation test strips, you can put in there, this is the day I ovulated, and then it'll really start to sync up if your periods are normal. Like if you have normal periods around the same time every month, you know, whatever. So this is what it's showing me right now, because I am currently 17 weeks pregnant. So if you can see, it's just like it's a cute little app. Anyways, so let me see if I can tell you guys my symptoms that I put on here. So if you can see here on the calendar, all those little dots underneath each day or whatever, those were the days like I documented something, or those were the days like I had my period or ovulated. And the days where there are little hearts are the days that we attempted to conceive. So let's start with day 16, considering that this is the first day. So I basically just put that Paul and I had attempted to conceive, and that, you know, it literally shows you like, hold on, I'll show you. But you literally just like, you can do like if you had sex, like unprotected sex, you know, whatever. And then like if you have symptoms and like so forth. And you can also track your weight, your sleep, and your water for each day too, which is cool. So let me start on the 24th. I put that I got a very faint positive line on a pregnancy test, but I'm pretty sure that that was false, because obviously it was like way too early to tell if I was pregnant. So, okay, so now we're at the 27th of September. Remember, we can try to conceive the first time on the 16th of September. It said your sex drive and sex, and I just put that we didn't have any. I was calm and happy. For the mood symptoms, I put that I'm having cramps and a headache. And then as for vaginal discharge, I was spotting a little on this day. And then in the notes, I just put I'm having pretty bad cramps. So I was having like left side cramping, and it was like almost like period cramps. Like I thought I was about to start my period at this time, and I was like, you know, that can't be right, because, you know, I had my period not long before this, but I was spotting and I was having pain on the left side of my pelvis area. So let's skip to the 28th. Let me see if I put anything here. I just put in the notes, tried to make a baby. For symptoms, I put cramps, tender breast, headache, and acne. I remember getting like pretty bad acne like right here on my chin, and that's pretty much all I put for that day. For the 29th, I put we didn't have sex. I didn't put anything for mood. For symptoms, I put cramps and a headache, and I put that I was spotting. And then for my notes, I just put that I've had an upset stomach most of the day. I've also experienced some flu-like symptoms, hot flashes along with mood swings, and I seem to get mad easier. Okay, so I was having some mood swings, and I do remember the hot flashes. I remember I would get like really hot, and that was like no fun. So I did experience that. And then for the next day, the 29th, I put that I was having mood swings, cramps, tender breast, acne, same thing as the day before. And then in the notes I just put, I've been having a lot of cramping today along with sore breasts, major mood swings, and acne. My ovulation test line was as dark as the reference line. And then Paul and I had tried to conceive 2 nights ago, so prior to this. And then on October 1st, I just put for my symptoms, it was just tender breast that day. October 2nd, I just put cramps and tender breast as my symptoms. October 3rd, this is a big one. Okay, so I put that my mood was I was feeling frisky and having mood swings is what I put. I put for my symptoms that I was having cramps, tender breast, headache, and then my vaginal discharge was a creamy-like substance. And then for the notes I put, I've been feeling slight cramping in my lower right pelvic area, as well as pressure in my pelvis kind of all over. I've felt like I'm developing a UTI, but I believe this is from, I said from the pressure. I guess because I was like assuming I was already pregnant, I don't know. Small things today, got on my nerves and I became easily mad. And my breasts are super sore and my nipples feel slightly swollen. Oh yeah, that was true. My nipples felt like kind of puffy. I also had a mild headache on one side of my head. I'm laying in my bed now at approximately 9 p.m. and my body feels achy and my pelvis is cramping. I also had the hiccups 3 times today, which is really unusual. Oh my gosh. So speaking of hiccups, that was a huge one for me. I had hiccups like 6 times a day. It was like ridiculous. Like I've never had so many hiccups in my life than with that first like month, 2 month, period in the beginning of my pregnancy. I just hiccup after hiccup after hiccup. It was ridiculous. Like 6 times a day I was hiccuping. Like the strangest thing. Okay, and so the next day on October 4th, let me see if I put anything there. I just said I had hiccups 4 times today. And then I just put that the October 5th symptoms were basically the exact same. So tender breast, headache, cramps. Okay, so those were like the big main ones. So tender breast, headaches, cramps. Okay, and I actually put like a lot for the next day. So let me just read this real quick. I've had the hiccups 1 time today so far and it's currently 10 a.m. Yesterday I had the hiccups 4 times and the day prior I had the hiccups 3 times, which is so weird for me because I barely hiccup ever. My boobs are still sore and veiny and as well as swollen. I also have pressure in my uterus with the occasional cramp. My pelvis almost feels stiff. That was true. It felt really tight. Like I felt really tight in my pelvis area. Like I needed to like stretch it out. Like it felt just so tight. For the past week, my mood has been all over the place, mainly irritated, and I get mad easily. Today, I am 4 days post-ovulation. And then I just put update. At lunch, I was eating French fries and from Chick-fil-A, and from Chick-fil-A, when my gums started to feel extremely sore to the point of barely being able to chew, I felt like my mouth was recovering from my mild procedure. So with that, I remember this day very distinctly because I remember thinking, I have to be pregnant. Like this is so weird. I was eating literal French fries. Like first of all, I wasn't very hungry. I remember having to like force myself to eat because I hadn't eaten anything all day. So I'm like eating these French fries and it's like, it's French fries. They're soft, they're not super hard. And I remember eating them and being like, oh my gosh, like my gums are on fire. Like they just hurt so bad. It felt like I had like a dental procedure done. I remember telling my coworker, like, I have to be pregnant. Like this is the weirdest thing. Like they hurt so bad. And I literally could not finish eating my lunch that day because it was just so painful. Oh my goodness. So that was 4 days post-ovulation. So for the next few days, I didn't really put anything. It was basically the same symptoms. I was cramping, sore gums, tender breasts, and there were also a couple of days where I was actually lightheaded. I worked full time, so I worked, I'm working 40 hours a week, and I would get up too fast or, be walking around too much, and I would get very lightheaded. I would have to sit down and just kind of chill for a second. And that's something that normally never happens to me. So I definitely took that as probably a sign that I am probably pregnant. I found out that I was pregnant at about 10 days post-ovulation, which is like, keep in mind I was testing like every day, okay? I pretty much knew I was pregnant. I mean, the symptoms, I know when you're trying to get pregnant or you think you might be pregnant and you're like really wondering, man, what's the symptoms? Like, for me, I just knew I was pregnant. Like those symptoms were so surreal. Like I just knew. Like I was like, I have never experienced this before. I guess because I was planning it, I was like more on the lookout for it. But I just knew that I was pregnant because of the way that I was feeling. It was very different from what I normally feel. Nothing I had ever felt before. I tracked my ovulation. I tried to run my ovulation day, and yeah, so that was my early pregnancy symptoms. I have a lot more symptoms that came later in pregnancy, which we can talk about in another video. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm gonna try to post more, throughout my pregnancy, and really because I really just want to document everything. I forget things so easily, so I think making these videos will be really helpful. So thanks so much, and I hope you watch the next video as well. Have a good day. Bye.